What's going on YouTube? It's your boy the D20 here, and today I'm bringing you another Demon Slayer discussion video. This will be the next part in the highly anticipated breathing series where I go into depth and a little bit more detail of all the breathing styles that are present in the Demon Slayer universe. So if you are liking this series, definitely like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think. Let me know how I can improve, and just let me know. So we're gonna get started. Thank you for joining me. The breathing styles are combat styles utilized by the Demon Slayer Corps. They are essentially breathing techniques that enhance their physical abilities to rival those of their demon prey. Also, though the styles are named after elements such as water, wind, and thunder, they do not give one the ability to use said element. So anything extra that you see in the anime or manga are used by the author to illustrate their movements in a more dynamic way. They are in fact named for the movements which are said to be reminiscent of the element for which they are named. So pretty much thunder breathing strikes like thunder, water flows, wind is tempestuous, things of that nature. It's just a little razzle dazzle, a little icing on the cake. The power of the Demon Slayer lies in their Nichiren blades. Each breathing style has a distinct color that a swordsman of sufficient skill's blade will take on. Beyond the general attack patterns that constitute the styles, the breathing techniques also allow their users to do things that normal breathing simply cannot do, such as slow the spread of poison or stop bleeding and coagulate blood. In the world of Demon Slayer, there are 14 total breathing styles which a Demon Slayer may choose from. There's one primary style, 6 secondary styles, 6 tertiary styles, and one fourth generation style. And this also denotes how they came about, with the primary being used to derive the 6 secondary, and a few of those secondary styles being used to derive the tertiary styles, and then one of the tertiary styles being used to beget the fourth generation style. The topic of today's video is going to be beast breathing. Now, beast breathing is going to be the first tertiary breathing style that we are going to talk about, which means that it is derived from a derivative. So, like I said, there are the secondary breathing styles that were derived from the primary, and beast breathing being one of the 6 tertiary. And specifically, it was derived from wind breathing. Now, I know what you're saying. Inosuke Hashibira developed it on his own. How is it derived? It has been stated that beast breathing is somewhat derived from wind breathing. My theory is that he inadvertently, while training to be a demon slayer and use, the Nichiren blades and combat demons, he heard about the breath styles. Well, excuse me, the breathing styles, not breath styles, breathing styles. And he inadvertently stumbled upon some wind breathing concepts. So he wasn't taught by a cultivator or anything. He pretty much not grandfather, he followed the style himself, but he inadvertently uses wind breathing tactics, or not tactics, but wind breathing principles, and he developed the beast breathing. So beast breathing is somewhat derived from wind breathing. Now, this is a rather unique style because it is one of only 2 known styles that specifically train their users in the use of dual blades, the other being sound breathing, which we'll touch on another time. But Inosuke's style is made for using dual blades, specifically ragged dual blades, as we've seen. And as his swordsmith unfortunately had the horror of seeing himself after he got his new swords. Now, in regards to this style, it doesn't look like it's made off of any real world sword style like thunder breathing. Was pretty much modeled after the real life five style of Yaijutsu. So it's pretty much freeform. And as you'll see from the techniques, it's very, very off the wall. And as far as classical swordsmanship, Inosuke is not a sword master in that regard. But he does use this style to great effect. Now, a skilled swordsman who uses beast breathing, their Nichiren blades will take on an indigo gray color the first time they draw them. Now we will go over the techniques. There are 11 in total, and let's get started. Alright, now for the techniques of beast breathing. And it should be noted that beast breathing is unique in the fact that its techniques are not referred to as forms, but rather fangs, and they were all created by Inosuke. Now, with beast breathing, there seems to be no flow to them like in a art like thunder breathing, where the first form is the foundation, or even like water breathing, where all the forms flow. It's pretty much, it seems like all of these techniques for the most part were off the cuff ideas that Inosuke had while fighting. But now, without further ado, let's get to the techniques. Beast breathing, Kedemono no Kokyu. Beast breathing, first fang, pierce. Ich no Kiba, Ugachi Nuki. The first form, pierce, as its name suggests, Inosuke will take his two swords and stab into the target. Now, this can be used to pin a target to a wall or just pierce their flesh. Of course, as we know, Nichiren blades must cut off the head of a demon. So this can be more so just to deal damage and pierce the demon rather than actually killing it. Beast breathing, second fang, rip and tear. Nin no Kiba, Kirisaki. This one is a double slash with his blades in both diagonal directions. Pretty much think of him making an X slash. Now, this one can do some damage. I believe it was the Horn Demon in which he first used this one, when they were in the house, when it was him, Tanjiro, and Zenitsu. Pretty much with this, you can not only dismember a demon, but also behead it as well. Yet again, not a lot to his techniques, at least for a few of them. It's just slicing and dicing. Beast breathing, third fang, devour. San no Kiba, Kuizaki. This is two horizontal slashes in opposite directions, kind of like the last one in an X, but one except not diagonal but horizontal. So pretty much, kind of like a guillotine. Well, I would know about a guillotine, but anyway, he uses two horizontal slashes to behead his opponent. Pretty well, it can be used to behead the opponent if it goes towards the throat. But anyway, two horizontal slashes in opposite directions, pretty much scissoring an opponent's head off. Beast breathing, fourth fang, slice and dice. Shin no Kiba, Kirikomoezaki. This one is a multiple diagonal double slash with both swords. Now, one thing with Inosuke's techniques is that they are really off the cuff, and especially by the name just slice and dice, it's like that's it, especially when you compare it with the other breathing forms that we have talked about and will talk about. All of these arts, they've been passed down from generation to generation. It's really structured, but his techniques are not. This one, it's just him slashing diagonally at an opponent multiple times. Yet again, not a lot. Not a lot to go into here. Next, beast breathing. Fifth fang, crazy cutting. Go no Kiba, Kurui Zaki. This is a mad cleave technique. It pretty much just slices in all directions. So if he has opponents in front, behind, and all around him, he uses this technique to, give him some room and potentially decapitate some of his opponents at the same time. Next, beast breathing, sixth fang, palisade bite. Roku no Kiba, Ran Gui Gami. This is a simultaneous decapitation with his swords from both directions. Not a lot to say. It reminds me a lot of the third fang, but as you can see, I think he was facing one of the moon demons when he was using this, and he had to try to intercept some of its underlings and destroy the demon itself at the same time. This, and of course, you won't recall this fight unless you've read the manga, because this fight hasn't happened yet in which this technique is used. Next, is actually one of the more the most, I probably say one of the few complicated forms that he uses, and it's a supplementary technique. Now, from beast breathing, I wasn't expecting any supplementary techniques, but Inosuke really did surprise with this one. Beast breathing, 7th form, spatial awareness, Shichinakata, Gukan Shikikaku. With this one, Inosuke will put down his swords and actually stand still, and using his heightened senses to detect disturbances in the air, he can tell where his opponents are. So it's pretty much like in a video game where if you have a skill that can pinpoint the enemies on the map. And this is how you on Mount Natsugumo, when they were having trouble fighting the zombie corpsmen, which they weren't zombies, but they were being controlled by the mother spider. When they were having problems, he used this technique in order to find her, so that Tanjiro could go kill her. And this is another one where it's like, okay, detecting disturbances in the air. I think this is part of where he got wind breathing. This is where he kind of tapped into a little bit of wind breathing, but very interesting. In a breathing style that is very offensive, to actually have a technique like this to be supplementary. But on to the next one, and it's back to what we all know: beast breathing, 8th fang, explosive rush, Hachinokiba, Bakuretsu Moshin. Now with this one, he will charge at his opponent, wielding his sword, trying to decapitate him. This was used yet again when fighting a moon demon that hasn't been seen yet. Just going towards them and with the intent to kill, slashing anything in his way explosively, and like Inosuke says, headlong rush. Next, beast breathing, 9th fang, extending bendy slash, Ku no Kiba Shi Unerizaki. And yet again, that name, extendy bendy slash. You can tell, yet again, this was off the cuff. When he was fighting a demon, the demon had actually predicted his move and moved out of the way. So what Inosuke did, he actually dislocated every joint in his hand in order to make it more malleable, to extend the slash in order to get to slash the demon. Now, the demon itself thought that it had dodged, judging the distance, it moved back accordingly. But because of what Inosuke did to his arm in order to extend his reach, the demon had in fact misjudged when he hadn't. He believed he misjudged, but in all actuality, Inosuke had extended his reach. Very interesting technique, because I don't think any of the other breathing techniques that we will touch on, that we have touched on or will touch on, have ever used a technique like this. Because yet again, Inosuke is very random, but when he hits, he hits. And this was a stroke of genius, to be able to, at a moment's notice, dislocate every joint in your arm and then pop them back like nothing happened. Gotta give credit where credit is due. Next, beast breathing, 10th fang, whirling fangs, Jun no Kiba, Enten Senga. With this one, if a demon were to happen to use any type of dust or particles to affect Inosuke's breathing, he could use this technique in order to fan it away, which is why it came about. Now, it could also potentially be used kind of similar to Tanjiro's constant flux, start spinning your blades to actually get them to build some momentum in order to slash. But so far, it's only been used in a supplementary manner in order to blow away particles. Now, there is one more technique. It's not officially called the 11th form. He just calls it a fang. But it truly has no number, but I always call it the 11th form. Beast breathing, 11th form, sudden throwing strike. Juichi Nakata, Omoitsuki no Nagasaki. Pretty much, he just throws his swords at his enemy. It can be just to throw them at them, just throw the swords at them, or it could be more like a javelin or such. However, it needs to be. It's a throwing of his Nichiren blades suddenly at an opponent, and that is it. Um, for beast breathing, 11 fangs, 11 styles. 11 techniques. Excuse me. A bit on the mini, well, a bit on the. It's one of the more numerous styles, I should say, but it definitely serves him well. Next, we're going to talk about the notable beast breather himself, Inosuke. All right, now to talk about all of the notable beast breathers in Demon Slayer, because you know there's that one guy and that other girl, and oh my god, and those other twins, you know the ones with the dual axes. They're so. Hold up, wait a minute. Oh yeah, it's just one guy. Yes, the only beast breather, its progenitor, and its only user is Inosuke Hashibira. Um, yeah, see, normally in this part I talk about the cultivator or any other notable people, but it's all Inosuke. Like I said, being raised on the mountain alone with primarily beasts, he developed beast breathing. Like I said, he somehow, some way, stumbled onto some principles of wind breathing and was able to incorporate that into beast. And although, like I say, it wasn't directly derived, I think, well, no, that's not what I meant to say. I know I always talk about how the breathing techniques don't actually use the element that they're named for, but I think you could say that Inosuke's is the most literal because breathing techniques in and of themselves make their user stronger. So I guess you could say that beast breathing makes the user strong like a beast, which we've seen Inosuke actually has some pretty bestial strength. But as far as him as a person, he's a really adaptable kid, and you can see that he makes the most use out of. I think the beast breathing itself makes the most use out of its user's physical properties, such as flexibility. Because, like I said, that extended bendy slash, that was really hard. I'm not gonna lie, that was hard. And then spatial awareness. Um, but yeah, Inosuke, he's in every fight that he's been in, he's been a player. Like even later on in the series, like I said, I can't talk about now. I'm trying to avoid spoilers in these videos. Some of his techniques have really saved the day, and his flexibility in battle has really not only saved him but those around him. And I don't know, he's just a funny character. Like he is so serious, and it's so funny how he doesn't get certain like human concepts. But yeah, Inosuke, the one and only beast breather. Um, he wears a head like a pig. Not really too much to say. Um, But yeah, what do you think about Inosuke? Let me know in the comment section below. If you could, if you could make a beast breathing technique, what would it be? And let me see. At this point, I'm kind of beside myself with what to talk about next because I know that there's supposed to be some information about the upcoming movie, which is an arc in the manga, and I'm still not happy about that. Which I'm going to talk about that in another shorter form video. But yes, I know with the movie information coming up, I think the movie's supposed to be out in America in October. It's not December, it's September. It's about to be the end of September. I think we got like 4 days left September. Kind of trying to, it's last Saturday in September 2020. So kind of trying to, match this with like a time frame. So whenever you watch this, you'll know. But yeah, I kind of want to do flame breathing, but I definitely have to wait till after that movie to get into that. But hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe if you did. Tell me what you would want to see out of me next. And if you could come up with your own beast breathing form, what would it be? Yet again, this has been your boy the D20 signing out. See you guys.